Oyo Effiom is a renowned leadership strategist dedicated to empowering top-tier leaders across industries. With 7 years of experience in the non-profit sector, Effiom founded the Guru Foundation, a leading organization inspiring leaders in Nigeria and Africa at large. As a seasoned executive, he previously served as CEO of Calabar SoftSkill Academy, a global marketplace connecting students with top professionals. Effiom holds a master's degree in public health from the University of Calabar and a bachelor's degree in biochemistry from the University of Cross River State, formerly Cross River University of Technology. His achievements are marked by notable awards including Mr. Commonwealth Youth Council 2014 and Peace Marshal for Akwa local government, Cross River State. Today, Effiom continues to inspire and shape both the current and next generation of leaders, leaving a lasting impact on his immediate community and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Oyo Effiom to the stage.
Before I begin, I want to say a very big thank you to the organizer, Mr. Wisdom. Mr. Wisdom. Okay, so putting up events like this is quite very expensive. I've done conferences for years, and I understand what it means to bring 100 persons, 200, 300, 500. Please, I want us to clap our hands for Mr. Wisdom. Do you guys even know Wisdom? Please, sir, come and sit down. It's enough. Just come in front. Let's clap for him, please. Keep clapping. Please, let's celebrate him. Keep clapping for him, please. You've done enough. Just have your seat, sir. Yeah. And most importantly, this is a free conference. Nobody's paying for it. I was calculating how much you've spent as a business person. That is from an NGO background. How are you going to make the money back? Yeah. And you're not from Cross River State, Shay? Oh, you're from Cross River, but you're saving here. Okay. Oh, I thought. Okay. All right. So when we see people like this that carry the burden of a generation, we always have to find a way to support him. I remember when I started organizing conferences, the only thing that I go back with is the excitement that people's life is changed. Most times, people don't understand the burden of a founder, the stress. All of his savings has gone for this event. I know it now. When I used to do conference, I'll save up money. People will ask, I had a cousin that will ask me, what are you doing with your money? So I basically will save up money so that I can use all of the money for the conference. And it's a circle. So little thing you can do for him, let me start with him before I get into my topic. It's number one, this is free. But they have severally said you should follow their social media. But I know many of us haven't. I think that gate fee for free conferences should be social following. So if you're in this hall and you've not followed their social media, I have followed. Please kindly follow them. And all of this content will be made available on their YouTube account. So what you can do is to consume back the content and introduce people who were not in this conference to consume the content so that can reroute him back to making resources so that by next year, they can have a conference like this. This thing is funnel principle. If he puts the money, keep putting, and it doesn't come back, one day he will not do it again. It's not about the blood of Jesus or anything. It's just a practical stuff about how business runs. So the certificate, are they buying it? Okay. You know me, I'm now a business person, so I've been hearing go to that table for certificate, and I check, people are not going there. And I asked, what's wrong with the table? Is something actually, sorry, me, I'm now a grandfather in Calabar. Do you understand? Like, I don't even care about people's opinion about me. Like, I can afford to come here and not say anything, and I go. And like, my name is my name. So I can afford to say anything to anybody right now. See that table? People haven't gone there. That is the business of this conference, that people should get certificates. And you know, you would think it's not important. But not until you start applying for global opportunity and you apply for even jobs, you see where they say certificates and awards. That's when you understand. So for a program that has been organized like this, what you can do to encourage this team is actually to pay for certificate. And 1,500 naira is not something that we cannot do. If it was church, we'll all make offerings. And I'm thinking that maybe those of us that are in the knowledge sector, we must find a way to do this free thing, that people give something. Because if you don't give, you can never recoup something. Yes. Comedy, you go and pay, but when it comes to knowledge, you say knowledge should be free. My attack is on all of you that want free knowledge. Yes. Please, let's encourage this thing. Go and pay for your certificate so that at least it can cover up for something. So, my topic is founder's mindset. How you can succeed as a founder. I'll just be sharing my story about the things I've done in this same city and how it's important to have a great mindset. So, first thing I want to say is that you know that vultures and eagles belong to the same family. I hope we all know. Vultures and eagles, they belong to the same family. So the family is called Accipitridae. Same family. The difference between vulture and eagles is just appetite. The difference between a founder and a non-founder is appetite. Appetite is too important. What you desire for, the things you want in your life, it's so important. It is what makes a big difference. So I traveled to Abuja and I came back. I noticed that 3 persons on my street started POS business. And I started questioning their thoughts. Why did they all start up a POS business? Why was it not something else? It's just appetite. He's doing a conference here in Transcorp. It is appetite. He would have afforded to do it anywhere, but because of class, panache, and whatever he thinks about, he's here. Appetite. So if you want to be a founder, the first thing you want to do is to feed your appetite. You have to ensure that you're so hungry for the things that life can offer. You are so hungry to bring transformation. You're so hungry to give value. Appetite. And so, whereas why a city, a particular city, is doing way better than the other city, is that we have more hungry people here than the other city. It's not even about the money that is there. Hunger will create resources. Hunger. There was a time in Calabar, in the tech space, we're not talking about building products. You know, Patrick, what we're talking about was just people learning tech skill. But we've moved to conversations we have now. It's we need startups in this space. How did we get to the point that we need startups? It's because people are hungry for building startups. So there must be hunger in the city of Calabar for founders to emerge. And the way you get hungry is when you come to conversations like this. I attended the Bridge Leadership Foundation Career Day, I think 2011. I listened to 2 young persons, the Iwe brothers. They are twins that run a food business in Lagos. So they share their story of how they started their food business by borrowing cooking utensils from neighbors. And then they started supplying food to people working in the urban part of Lagos. And you know, most times when we listen to this thing, it sounds so motivational. And you know, the way we have really cool conversations like this is that, motivational speaker, they go talk, say, they start with 1,000 naira. My friend said he started at 51 with 250,000 naira. I was like, 250,000 naira. Motivational talk done, motivational speaker don't come again. But truthfully, people actually have started businesses without money. Truthfully, people have started business with 5,000, 10,000. It's not motivation. It's when you are so hungry for something, you will find a way around it. Yeah, that's the truth. So, why will Mr. Patrick start at 51 with 250,000? Because first, he has the skill for building at 51. That skill. He's a developer. So he's not going to pay a developer to develop the software. So founders must find a way to understand what they need while they're trying to build whatever they want to build. So we need more persons who are hungry. Appetite. How do you feed your appetite? You must feed your appetite by the people you're following. By the people you're following. Now you know, those days when we're growing up, when we talk about who's your role model, we'll mention real people who are doing real things. But you know the Gen Z, the people who are their role model and mentors, music vibes. It's not bad. But you see, TikTok can't solve so many problems. We've ridiculed intelligence to TikTok videos. And you ask yourself, TikTok is from China. How come TikTok is not in China? Why? There's a reason. How come Nigeria, all we care about is to become content creators? All of you are now content creators on social media. But we are not thinking of who is going to build the next social media apps. Why are we consuming instead of producing? Why? It begins with mindset. That's how we think in this part of the world. Like, you know, I found that in the Bible, 2 generations. There's a generation called Jacob and Esau. Esau was not a failure. I hope you guys know. Hello? Esau was not a failure. Esau was one of the best snipers. The guy could shoot any animal. And he was so good at it. He failed only twice in his lifetime, in his career. The first time he failed was when he came back and he asked his brother for porridge. But how come someone who constantly kills animal could not have a reserve? Like, what happened that Esau could not have dry meat? Like, sure, when you kill meat, you have to dry the meat. What happened to Esau? It was a mindset stuff. The guy was someone that every time money enters his pocket, he must consume the money till he finishes. He goes to club. He was a baller. The guy likes balling. His friends will show to the house. And you know, party happens. House party. He wasn't accountable for anything. That is Africa. Every single resources that comes into this country is squandered. It's squandered by someone, and the person is not even using the money to build factories in Africa. You know, they use it to own companies overseas. It's Africa. Then the second point of my concern is that your father now told you that I'm about to die, but I need to bless you. Just give me meat to eat. How come this guy that I've been killing for years could not find a colleague to say, please, I don't have meat. Give me meat. Let me give my father. He had no network. No network. The guy was a lone ranger. The guy was a solo player. Everything started with him and ended with him. He couldn't build a team. You see, that's the problem with most of us that want to be WhatsApp CEOs. You want to be the only one doing the stuff. You're scared of everybody around you. That was Esau. He suspected everybody in his life. Everybody. So he couldn't build a company because of his mindset. His mindset was somebody will eat me and frustrate me. So there's no point. That was Esau. And most of us seated here are Esau. I tell you for free that if you check your account, your bank statement, you will notice that you've made more money than your parents. I'm not kidding you. You've seen more money. Most of our parents earn 80,000 naira a month. 120. Man, they're not paying them so well in government. But can you just think for once, have you ever been at home and your parents don't provide food for you? They are Jacobs. There's a Jacob generation and there's an Esau generation. Jacob took just one sheep, started multiplying. It's not how much he started the business with. It's the multiplying effect. It's not how much. It's the multiplying effect. There's a multiplying effect for everyone who is diligent. There is a multiplying effect for everyone who's diligent. You see, in this city of Calabar, people used to say, you're not going to find help on this. I started with a conference just like this. 2018, I came back from National Youth Service. I decided to host a conference called Guru Session. Just bringing people to share experience, just like we're doing here. And I didn't know so much. All I knew, I was passionate about Calabar. Like, can we have young persons thinking about how they can solve problems from this place? And I can boldly say that we're the first set of young persons that started hosting big conferences. The first time we did was 576 persons. The next year was 2,000 plus with 3 presidential candidates in this same city. And guess what? No need of clapping. No, I'm not exciting anybody. It's not excitement. I'm just sharing my burden today. We didn't have money to print flyers. There were no billboards. There were no radio ads. It was just passionate young persons who said we needed to make a big difference. And today I look back at that journey. My communication manager is in London now. My program manager works in Lagos. My 2 brand strategists are all in Lagos. That team that was doing all of that stuff, they have moved across the globe. We've moved to start up. We have Guru Innovation Hub. You know, you can't talk about technology in Cross River State without mentioning Guru Innovation Hub. We are now at the forefront. All of this is a product of just a conference. You know, one thing I understand about leadership is that you can't see everything from the beginning. No matter how innovative you are, no matter how visionary you are, you cannot see everything from the beginning. The hack is just stand up and start acting. Feed your appetite. Can everybody say feed your appetite? Feed your appetite. Can we say it louder? Say feed your appetite. Feed your appetite. Feed your appetite. If you just feed your appetite, that's all you need. So as a founder, few things you need is that, number 1, ideas. I read a book by Sam Adeyemi back then, Idea Rules the World. And nothing can equate idea. How superior your idea is, the better for you. So you have to spend time to research problem. So it is said in design thinking that you must spend 90% of your time looking for the problem. 90% of your time identifying what exactly is the problem. 90%. So if you want to become a founder that is succeeding, you want to push out quality ideas. And how do you do that? You must spend time to know the pain points of your end users. Like, there's a startup I have currently that we've pivoted 3 times. Like, the idea circle, we move from this one to this one. It's not like we're stupid. It's that we are still finding the soft spots. Yeah. Idea. And the hack is that find something that an idea that people love. If 10 people love your idea, it's better than 100 people liking it. Just ensure that whatever you're putting out, 10 people love that idea. They will be able to blow your trumpet everywhere. How were we able to do a conference that moved from 500 persons to 2,000? It's because we did stuff that people love, people enjoyed. And guess what? You know, these days I see young people volunteering. They don't volunteer with their money. Those, when we started, volunteers. I tell you the truth, the first conference I did, we didn't even have refreshment. You gave me water. Like, there was no water from my part. It is a volunteer that bought water. He said, boss, look at water, snacks, and I said, thank you, thank you, thank you. Women Development Center, we didn't have chairs. One volunteer brought hillocks and drove chairs from his church down to the venue. It was volunteers. But what I did is I saw the vision. The vision became their own vision. It wasn't me. Anything that begins from you and stops with you will die. Period. That's why the biggest company are companies that have diluted their shares. Yeah. They have diluted their shares. People own it. Then you now see the founder owns just 5%. But the 5% of, do you know what some 5% is? You have 5% in $4 trillion company. You don't need to work again, like you can afford to go and sleep, but you can't sleep. Idea. Refine your idea. Mr. Patrick is perfect in taking you through ideation. Very perfect guy. Meet him. And now even with AI, you know, you talked about AI, and you know that's what we are doing these days. AI can help you in ideation. Perfect. The next thing is the quality of your team. You will never be, you can't underestimate the importance of a team. If you have average team members, your products and everything you're doing will be average. Guys, the worst thing you can have is a team that will give you excuses every time. Patrick has been to the hub severally. Young people sleep there. I lock them in. Yeah, where are you going to? At this young age, you want to sleep. What will you do when you're old? Yes. In technology, it's about culture. Like, we must shape culture of Calabar. Like, you see, you go to somebody is selling provision and opens the provision shop by 10 a.m. There's a cultural stuff. You go to eat in a restaurant, they say the food will be ready by 12. Like, are you expecting that people will not be hungry in the morning? There's a cultural problem with where we find ourselves. That's why you see, when people finish university, what do they want to become? Politicians. There's a cultural problem. Any place where you see churches being more than businesses, there's a problem. Culture. We must break out of culture. That's why you must find a team that understands where you're going. Every startup begins with a global mindset. There is no startup that begins, you begin with a global mindset, but you can begin small. Every startup we're building, we're not building it for Calabar. But Calabar is the starting point. It is easy to pivot in Calabar. Guys, I have one startup we're trying to push. To do 8 billboards for 3 months is just 2.4 million naira. I say just because if you go to Port Harcourt and Lagos, you can't do 3 billboards in 1 month for that amount. But in Calabar, do you know, when we put the billboard, it will be everywhere in Calabar. People, 2.4 million, whereas that is price for 1 billboard in Lagos. Do you understand? So it means that the best place you should test your idea is in this city. We have so many big products that started in this city. And because I'll talk about timing. The third point I'll talk about is timing. There is no problem with where you begin from. But Though there's some products that you may have to move, maybe your marketing team, your operational team, your XYZ team to a particular city. But I feel, because I'm in the tech space and I understand, guy, labor is cheap. I was in Abuja and somebody told me that, he won't come employ people for Calabar. I said, really? We don't, they map certain people, they look for talent for Calabar. He said, talent is cheap there. Talent is cheap here in Calabar. You can have a developer working for you for a month for 150K. You can't do that in Lagos. You can't do that in UK. It's not possible. Sure, you know now the trend is now UK guys looking for us here because they know that the year is cheap. But let's collect the small money first. Still, we increase and tell them it's UK versus Nigeria, same price. Hello? Sorry, I'm talking about they say startup founder, so you may not, for those of you that are not in the startup space, it might not really make sense to you. I'm just having conversation with founders and maybe try to inspire you to become one. So team. So you must, you don't need to be emotional while you're trying to build your team. You want to ask yourself, can my team become my resources? So you're a non-technical founder and you need to build a mobile app and they say 5 million naira. Simply go and find a co-founder that is a mobile app developer. That is how the team should be. Oh, so you're good in operation, but you don't understand marketing. Find a co-founder that is into marketing and sales. Form that kind of team. When you have a team that have deep understanding about the work. And for me, for my hack for a startup, basically, I look out for people who have hunger. Like if you have hunger and you're learnable, it means that we can share resources with you and then you learn immediately. Hunger, learnable, available. You're hungry, you're learnable, you're available. Anything can happen within 6 months. So you can take an ordinary team within 6 months and you turn them into anything. So, but always look at where are they coming from? What have they done before? In their little space. So if you come, I'm trying to get you on our team, I'll ask you, what have you done before? Okay, in school, you say you're a student. Have you ever occupied a position in school? Have you contested before? Do you understand this? That's my own interview. I want to just know the elements that you're made of. What's your tenacity? Because beyond all of this greed, we'll now boil down to people who have stamina, who understand that they can let go the benefit of the future or the enticing things of today for the benefit of the future. And that's part of the real problem we have here. So you suddenly build a team. And then before you know, in 6 months or 1 year, mostly if it's tech team, they want to be in Lagos. And then that project goes down to 0 again. So you need people that you can sell the vision that, please, give me a permission to lead you for 5 years. Because the average years you need for a startup is 5 years. Like you want to say to yourself, 5 years, I'm not going to make any money. Please, for those of you, startup is not, it's not a gamble. It's not Bet Niger that you're putting 1,000 naira to get 10,000 naira tomorrow. No. If you're thinking of it that way, you're not going to make it. No. Startup is actually a long-term stuff. Like you're saying for the next 5 years, I want to put in all my energy. Mr. Patrick, you've done Siphon for years. I know your struggle, guy. You be my guy. Yeah, I know your struggle. I know when these things start to pay. Yes. We've applied for things. Guys, you go apply for things and tire you. You see, as I'm here, my team in the office, they are doing 3 applications to meet deadline. You can't, imagine that I don't have that kind of team that understands. And some of them are not even on the pay. In short, let me tell you the real truth. The people who don't do the core work are not on payroll. See, the people who do the core work in every company, they don't negotiate based on pay. It's not pay that entices them. It's the future of that company and how they can have a share in that company. Theirs is, if this company will become something, can I have something in it? So all of you that approach things from, are you going to pay me 50,000? I know it's hunger. It's good to sort out your hunger. That's why you don't have anything to do with startup if you've not sorted out your hunger. Normal hunger, not the other hunger. Because if you don't have food in your belly, you're going to frustrate projects. And you know, an hungry man is an angry man. That's why you need to have money. Hungry people are very frustrated. Yeah, they'll frustrate. Imagine that you're in a taxi, you didn't do anything to somebody, and somebody's abusing you already. It is because of lack of money, nothing more. Trust me. If you see why we are so angry in Nigeria, it's because of lack of resources. If there's enough money, people will just relax in this country. Third is timing. Timing is everything in building startups. There's a time that whatever you're trying to build is not right. Perfectly. You see now that we are in the AI boom. I tell people that idea is a global, it's a global wave. If your antenna is on, you're going to pick the frequency. There's a frequency of thought that is going on right now in the globe. Those of you that are not trying to build startups, you really might not understand. But if you notice, the frequency of thoughts that is going on now is AI. Everything is moving into AI. So, when we say technology, this, that, technology in itself is actually not really an industry. Technology is an enabler. So now everybody's trying to build an AI that helps you do what you've been doing. So like for instance, this conference, so what are the repeated processes that this conference does? Number one, they're going to write content. They're going to create graphics design. They will share it on social media. They're going to run social ads. They're going to take the data from the form and then reach out, send mails or call. So now people are building AI to do those stuffs. It's not like AI is not even a new stuff. It's something that have existed for quite so long. So the wave, the frequency now is what? AI. So if you're someone who's thinking in the high frequency startup space, you notice that the ideas that will pop on your mind will be AI. There was a time that virtually all the ideas in the globe was crypto. It was the crypto wave. You must be sensitive as a startup founder to understand the wave that we find ourselves. There's a frequency that you are. If you notice again, in Nigeria, you notice that everything now is EdTech. We are talking about EdTech because of our population. We have only 2 million people in Nigerian university. Every year, 1.9 million, right? Like this year was 2.1 million. And only about 700,000 will get into tertiary institutions, polytechnic, monotechnic, university. So everybody's thinking, how can we build EdTech to solve that? Another one is L.E.T. So there's a frequency. So timing. How you can be so early in the market, you're building stuff that nobody needs. So if you build stuff that nobody needs, Steve Jobs says you can actually build stuff that nobody needs, then you start marketing to them. You start teaching people. But you need to have a lot of resources. You can't for you to be someone who's building technology all my talk is technology. That's the only thing I understand now. So, please forgive me. Maybe if I know how they do Akwa, I would have been sharing it also. But it's just technology I understand now. So, if you're building a product that people don't need right now, you're so early in the market, you need resources to start educating. Because you're now the pioneer. So you want to change people's thoughts about that particular product. So timing is important. And then, so check your time. It's one of the most important things for startup founders to succeed. You see, do you know that OpenAI is 10 years old? When did they push out their first product? Say 2 years ago. What were they doing in the past 8 years? Hey guys, hello? ChatGPT that you use is a product of OpenAI. The company is 10 years old. What were they doing in the past 8 years? Building, testing, researching. Yeah. So if you were on a startup team of OpenAI for the past 8 years, can you stay on a team for 8 years? And the company hasn't moved up. Nobody knows. Like for 8 years. Like you guys are underground and you still stay on that team. How many of you can do it? Hello? Because I'm talking about mindset of a founder. How many of you in this house can join? Many people here will share ideas with you. Because why we come to conferences for networking. Oh, come on, I have this great idea. Hey, let's do this. Can you join any team of anybody in this house and stay with the person for 8 years? And nobody will know that company for 8 years. All you guys are doing is taking data, researching, building models, testing. Like, I get even a lot of frustration. I do a customer review program, customer development program. I invite companies to come. Do you know they don't even come? You know, to build a product, you need them to come and discuss. Imagine that sometimes we send 20 letters and only 2 will come, 18 will not come. So imagine what those guys go through to build stuffs that we are using. Guys, to be in the startup space, you need a lot of audacity. So much of audacity. It's not for the fainted heart. That's what so many persons are not doing. That's why we open POS. Because you know, POS, all you need is just collect someone's card and you slot in and you remove your 100 naira. And that's all. 8 years. So today I came to challenge a generation of young persons that will say, we can stay hungry for 8 years till we build the next unicorn out of Cross River State, out of Nigeria. The first unicorn out of Cross River State. That is the generation we're looking for. A generation of young persons that will say, okay, I'm still going to be on that team. I'm going to go to Harvard. No problem, because there's a team I need to join in Harvard that will help me improve what we are building here in Cross River State. We need a team of young persons that will say, I need to learn AI. Now everything is AI, machine learning. I want to learn that stuff so that I can earn hard currency and push the money into the startup we are building. How many of you are so sacrificial? Becoming a founder is about sacrifice. If you can't sacrifice, you can't be a founder. You can't be a co-founder. You can't be on the team. Today, I challenge every young person listening to me. It's time for us to stand up and build. I know that, you know, when we discuss like this, mostly in open fora, people will say, resources is my problem. You see, I kept resources as the last thing. You need resources, truth be told. I tell Patrick sometimes, how do you build when your landlord is knocking on your door? You should pay house rent. How do you build when you're hungry? Founders, you need to find a way to raise your money. Part of it could be working to build funds. Because in Nigeria, there is no incubation program for idea. Pre-seed, no pre-seed. Those of you that understand pre-seed, no. So the problem we have is risk capital. There's no risk capital in Nigeria. In the US, whether you're saying rubbish, somebody's ready to give you money to try it. That's why US is the global headquarters for startups. Like you see, Patrick, somebody will just see, like you're saying rubbish, the guy knows that you're going to fail. He's going to give you money so that you fail and learn. That is the US. You know what they tell you in Nigeria? We've gone to so many. Traction. You know, I told you, I went, and everybody was blowing. How we've made $100,000 in. Like I'm looking at you, startup, me, startup. I was the only one saying Naira. I was ashamed of Naira. There are many places you go and you'll be ashamed in Nigeria. You'll not be able to mention Naira. Like everybody's talking dollars. Is it how easy we make dollars in this country? Oh, really? So I paused. I started changing my pitch deck also. Dollars, we've made dollars. Dollars have to be made. Guys, if you're a startup founder, the truth is that dollars is the only currency that, that exists in the startup space. There is no risk capital whatsoever. Nobody's ready to bet on you. Guys, you're the only one that will bet on yourself. That's why you see, development now, you're supposed to spend 6 months and spend maybe 5 million. AI, please, you can be a non-technical founder and you build AI products. All you just need is MVP to push out there. So we need to build tech startup, and we need to build manufacturing companies to manufacture simple stuff like shoes. So how can one startup sell shoes to every one of us here? Everybody must not come to tech. You know, it's another problem I'm seeing, Mr. Patrick. Everybody tech. You don't need to be, don't come to tech, please. Just stay where you are. If you're doing shoe, all you need to do is become the best shoemaker in Calabar. Ensure that we have 4.4 million people in Cross River State. Calabar, we have 660,000 persons. All you want to say is, how many share of this market will I have? If they're buying 4.4 million shoes in a year, can I sell 1 million shoe? The person who sells 1 million shoe to people in Cross River State is a millionaire. He's a billionaire. It's not million, he's a billionaire. The person who sells 1 million shoes. So you think about, don't just think about tech. Think about agriculture. Think about other. See now, the Cross River State have been talking about coffee. I started researching about coffee. Do you know, a bag of coffee, an average bag of coffee is $385 to sell. An hectare of land will produce 14 bags of coffee. The premium coffee is $500. So when I did it takes 3 years for coffee to grow and then you harvest. But it's going to take 15 to 20 years for you to be harvesting that coffee. And it's going to take you an average of about 1.2 million naira to plant and manage the coffee farm for 3 years. And then you're going to make, if you do $385 times 14, 1 year times 15 years. You see, guess what? We will not invest. You're not going to do it. Foreigners will come. You know, a foreign company have entered. Very soon they will be the ones planting everything. The issue is the mindset. Do you know what we want to do? Is to sell, to be the ones harvesting, to be the one planting. But we don't want to be owners. So how can we start from our little place as young people? You may not have all the money, but our little money can build a big enterprise. I talked about risk capital. You need revenue. You may start a business without money. Good. Like Patrick has said, I've talked about it. Yes. But there's a point in your life that money is very important. I told Patrick, I was in semi-final of the MasterCard EdTech scholarship. It was $100,000. I've reached semi-final. Just the last stage, they knocked me out. We're asking, how did you knock us out? Why was our startup not included? So, at that point, because I've built the product, but for that product to get into the hands of people as much as I want, there's a lot of funds. So you need to start applying to join incubator programs, write grants, pitch to people. You have to look for high-net individuals. And you know, they will not believe you till they have your footprints for the past number of years. There's a guy that just came in from UK. I've been pitching to that guy. Bros, how far when you're in UK? See what we are doing. And I just realized the issue with Nigerian funders, angel investors. They want immediate return. The guy said, if you put XYZ amount of money, when am I going to get back my money? I said, Chief, that's not how startup works. So. Okay, it's not bad Nigeria. If you give me now, it takes time. Like I'm not selling normal restaurants. Please, guys, I have a startup that I need all of you to check out. It's called Inwang's Food. Inwang Food, please. INWANG Food. Then add s.ng. It's going to be the biggest startup that you can imagine. What we're doing basically there is we are connecting people who know how to cook authentic meals to people who want to buy food. I've been frustrated severally in Calabar trying to eat food in different restaurants. It's not about price. You can pay as much as possible, but people don't cook well. Recipes are disappearing in this town. This town was home to food, good meal. But trust me, we're getting frustrated every day. But what I discovered is that there are many cooks that don't have money to start a restaurant, but they have gas cooker. So if you're here, you have a gas cooker, and you can cook. You can join, get on the platform, please. Media, please, you can help me. Get on the platform, sign up for free, and then you can start selling to people in Calabar. www.inwangfood, INWANG, then the food, FOODS.ng. Join the wait list as either a cook or someone who wants to consume. So I've talked about four factors I think you need to succeed as an entrepreneur, as a founder. So please, guys, the ball is in our court. The next conversation we want to have in Calabar is that we want to have young persons who are building. So if you want to build, please connect to Mr. Patrick. You can come to Guru Innovation Hub. We are going to support you. to see how you can build whatever you're building. And then also make research. Cross River State government is doing a lot. There's a lot going on in agriculture. Please go to the Ministry of Agriculture. Try to see how you can play in. Don't say this government is not doing anything. There's a lot going on the side. Please try and be involved. Have I made some sense here, guys? Hello, can I hear it loud? Have I made some sense? So finally, I end with this story. I heard a story about a young girl who was the best student. She came out with first class. She went for youth service, came back. Things was not going on well for her. So she tried everything she could. And one day she decided that she was going to visit Babalawo. You know, sometimes maybe that's the final hope of people who don't know God. So the girl went to the Babalawo. The Babalawo said, there's no problem, I'm going to help you to tell you if you have a future, a bright future. It's good that you came out first class and all of that. Hey, beautiful, top of this. But things are not going on well, so I'm going to help you. So the Babalawo drew 2 circles and said, he's going to play drum and the centipede will start dancing. If the centipede enters this particular one that has future, it means she has a bright future. If the centipede enters this one that there's nothing written on it, it means she doesn't have a bright future. So the girl said, no problem. The Babalawo started playing the drums. The centipede started dancing, dancing, dancing. The centipede started dancing to a future. The girl was so happy that she has a future. You know? As the Babalawo was playing, sorry, I'm using Babalawo, we are Christians. As he was playing, suddenly the centipede started dancing to this one. The stuff went so close to the circle. The girl ran and carried it and put in the one that says she has a future. Your future is in your hands. Carry your future in your hands. Thank you.